1762 playing a 1755. I started with Roy Lopez opening, which I very much enjoy. And my opponent brings his queen out early, so I bring my knight in, and he just kicks my bishop. But I decide, let's do something interesting here. His queen, he brought it out very early. Let's maybe hop this knight in, put some pressure on that queen. So that's exactly what I do. So after he moves the queen, I obviously have to move my bishop so it does not get taken by this pawn right here. His knight in, basically preparing to destroy my knight. That's a very centralized knight right now. And I just continue developing. I'm pushing the pawn, opening up this bishop scope, and also improving my pawn structure. Now these pawns are all chained together. They're very strong together. And after the trade, I have this bishop in the center. Pulls the knight back, because I'm pretty sure he wants to play something like he's going to push it here. That way my bishop has to come out. So I pull back. He pushes the knight there. And you can see how much tempo he's wasted. This knight has moved too many times. It's moved, what, like three times? And it just came to this square. It hasn't really gone anywhere. And so I take the time to castle. He brings the bishop. I bring the rook. And now my bishop gets this juicy square right here. It's covering all these dark squares. That's a very powerful bishop. And meanwhile, he just hasn't really got his pieces moving yet. So he pushes the pawn. I don't really know why he would do that. That's just a waste of tempo yet again. It's not like I can pin his knight or anything. So why would you waste a pawn move? Anyway, moving on. Bring the queen up. Maybe at some point I might sack over here. Or maybe I'm just trying to bring my other rook in. Really, I'm leaving my options open, so maybe later in the game I can take advantage of them. Brings the knight. Take that knight. That knight has moved, what, now 4 times? My bishop has moved 2 times. Meaning that I have a lot more tempo on him. He's wasted 4 moves just to move that knight around. Now I'm solidifying my control of the center with these pawns. His pieces are pushed back. And at this point, I look at this and I'm thinking, oh, he's probably going to want to strike over with this move. And this would destroy my pawn structure. So I'm going to do something to prevent that. I play pawn c3. That way I'm protecting this pawn in front. He brings his bishop, eyeing this pawn right here that may become weak at some point, but I don't really think it will. Bring the knight in. This knight is looking super juicy, attacking a lot of things, and it cannot be removed right now. So he moved the bishop there. Not really the best spot for a bishop anyways still, because this bishop is kind of blocked by the pawn. So what I do is to get my queen out of the way, because still, even though this bishop hasn't had a threat yet, once he moves that pawn, my queen would be under fire. And I really don't want that. He pushes the pawn. I slide the rook in. Really, this is all positional. He's just trying to get this bishop out of here, because this bishop, before this bishop was eyeing that. And you see how the knight and the bishop lined up together? Means that this rook is always anchored down right here. And this bishop is very powerful, always eyeing that pawn down. So you have to get it out of there. He knocks me out of there. I just pull it back. Now it's not as strong as before, but I'm still protecting this pawn. This pawn is protected 3 times, while it's attacked 1 time, meaning that it's fine. Now he's adding the rook. More pressure on that knight, more pressure on that pawn. I'm pushing this pawn because, let's say if he takes, then I would just bring here. You see how this bishop is reestablished again? And not only that, but I'm threatening, with these 2 pieces, I'm threatening this bishop check, and that would be, he would be dropping a rook. So you don't want to take that. Pushes the pawn finally. Now, this bishop can't even move back anymore. This bishop is completely locked in, so once I move my knight back, there's no way I am taking this bishop. My knight is too good to take that terrible bishop over there. That can't really do much. Now, obviously, you have to push this pawn. If you didn't see the move, let me show it. If he did something random, like, say, put the queen over here, he's adding more pressure on this pawn. Then, boom, bye-bye goes the bishop. That bishop is stuck. That bishop can't go anywhere. And if he takes, you just take it back. And if he doesn't take, that pawn is just going to take the bishop. So you have to push the pawn, otherwise that bishop is locked in. Now I take here, because he just dropped the pawn. Now once he takes back, I'm up a pawn. And not only that, but once I take it, I come in with check. Check directly on his king. After the move, I get this bishop back in. This bishop was powerful before, but it got knocked out. Now it's back in place. And I have this very strong diagonal pointing close to his king. So he has to be careful with this. He really does not like the fact that my bishop, queen are lined up pointing at his king. He's trying to do something about it. I just move it back out the way. Move the bishop. That's what he does. Then I push that bishop. Push it back. And then I break open the center with this. Now, when I play this move, the best I was seeing from my opponent would be actually just to take here. In that case, I would just take here. The reason for that is because I'll show you. The reason for that is because what he did was he took, but then I can launch this knight in here. This knight, again, is an absolute beast. Look how much I'm threatening. I'm threatening check here. If I can get this check, bye-bye to the queen. The queen's gone. If I can get that check. If you don't move your queen, you're gone. I have this check here. I mean, it's not the best check, but actually, yeah, it's a good check too, because once you check here, the king will be forced up. And then you can move the knight, and once you move the knight, it's a discovery check, because remember that queen is still eyeing that square. So this knight is the absolute powerhouse. It's got 2 places you can go. Now, if I were my opponent, I probably would just take this knight with the... Use the rook to take the knight, because the rook is threatening too much. And you'll see this is actually the downfall of my opponent. This knight, this singular knight, leads to his downfall. So he gets his queen out the way, right? Because you really don't want that fork I was talking about before. And so I just gave him a check, and he's going to resign. Because this check here, king cannot move here. Because remember, my queen is still here. So the king is forced over here. King moves. And then it's a discovery check. And in fact, I can double check him. If I want, I can just check here. He's forced here. And black is completely dead. They're dead in the water. They have no attack. Nothing going on. Down a piece. Resign time. Alright, thank you for watching.